Taurus, happy August 2017. This is Dark Dove Tarot. Hope everybody's doing fantastic. I'm going to move these. I'm going to use those in a little bit. All right. Hope everybody is doing amazing. As I've said, the past two reads, I've switched things up. I'm focusing on singles and anybody looking to reconcile, particularly singles. I'll try and chime in for reconciliation on each position, but I can't guarantee it. Like I said before, the people who reach out to me just asking questions or who seem to subscribe or, you know, request private readings, etc., are people who are single. So anyways, I haven't gotten any negative feedback, so hopefully everybody is fine with that. As I said before, and I say it every time, I move pretty fast. I have a lot to say and a lot I want to get out. So hopefully I don't move too fast for you, but I don't want to take up too much of your time. As always, check your sun, moon, and rising, as sometimes those may resonate with you more than others. Let's see here. Okay, so again, this is a general read. Hopefully it resonates with the majority of you. This is for Taurus, August 2017. Any likes, subscribes, comments, private reads, donation information, it's in the description below. You know, I like hearing from everybody. So if you want to email me or if you have any comments, I'm always up for hearing them. Okay. So let's get started. We always begin with your current position, current state coming into the month. And you have the Eight of Swords. So Taurus, immediately this tells me that if you're single, you are wanting to get out, wanting to meet people, but something's holding you back. So I don't know if it's resistance to, you know, starting a whole new life. Maybe you've been divorced. Maybe you broke up. And you've been out of that relationship for a long time, and you know you kind of need to get back on the horse, and you want to. It's not that you need to, it's more a want and a need for, you know, that human, physical connection. But this is telling me that you're holding yourself back for some reason. And this is your hand holding you back. So this isn't anybody else. This is like self-doubt. This is your own personal imprisonment. It's almost as if you're trying to control a situation. You just can't. Or maybe you're trying to act like you have, you know, total control over dating, and you realize now that it's just a crazy new dating world and you're just not quite sure what to do with it. For some of you, it may be that you're mixed emotions about who you're going to meet. Will you ever meet somebody trustworthy? Maybe you got out of, you know, something pretty damaging and you've waited long enough, because I really feel like there's a lot of time that was processed, or a lot of time that was healing. And maybe you started dating last month. You know, maybe you're already in the dating pool, but I get the sense a lot of you are not quite sure. And some of you, I feel like, are dating, but you're just not giving it your all. You're really not putting any care into it, because you're just kind of like, well, if I put myself out there, I'm going to get hurt. And some of you just confused about what you want, because you know what you had you didn't want. You know what you're finding or who you're meeting you don't want. So you're just kind of like, what do I do now? It's not a bad place to be in. This isn't necessarily negative. It's just that you're not opening up fully to dating. And yet some of you really want to meet an incredible person. Some of you really want to have something special. You're just not sure exactly how to go about it. And so instead of taking risks, or instead of kind of putting yourself out there, you're holding yourself back. Which, let's see what the rest of the spread says. It's not always a negative thing. I mean, right? You have to take baby steps to then take a giant leap. But sometimes you just have to go. You just have to do it. And then figure it out later, if that makes sense. If you haven't been dating in a long time, or if you've just started, or if you're changing tactics, sometimes you just got to get out there, get mixed up in the shit, and then you'll figure it out, right? If you're looking to reconcile, this tells me one of two things. Either you know it's over and you're hesitant about getting back out there, A, because either you don't want to make the other person feel bad, or B, if you're still interested in them but you kind of know it's over. And I just said two things, and now I'm going to all of a sudden say a lot of things, but these things started flooding in because I see some of you going, well, if I date, then he or she's going to date, and any chance we had is out the window. It's not necessarily true. I mean, sometimes dating can actually influence somebody to go, hey, wait, I don't want to see you date, because then that means we're over, and it might. But at the same time, sometimes people react with, well, he or she's dating, I don't want them to date, but I don't want to be with him either. So it's almost like, I don't want you, but I don't want anybody else to have you either. So you got to be really careful here. I feel like you're walking on eggshells or pins and needles, and rightfully so, because I kind of feel like maybe there's no closure. Maybe you're not sure what's going on, and so you're holding yourself back from dating anybody else because you don't know if it's over, and you don't know if you want it to be over, and you don't know if they want it to be over. The other side of this is maybe you need to communicate with this person because maybe you did something wrong, or maybe you were part of a problem, because it takes two to tango, and you don't want to apologize or communicate because you want to control the situation. Well, it's not going to work that way, because you can't control the situation. Look, at the end of the day, if you really care about this person and you want them back, if you did something wrong, even if you didn't do something wrong, right? If you want somebody back, say you want them back. Otherwise, move on. It's like a game, and we all have played it, and everybody's been, but don't you get tired of the bullshit? Don't you just want to say what you feel? And maybe you'll surprise the crap out of the person that you're still in love with, if it's there. Make sure you're not holding yourself back from other possibilities if you know it's not there. I said to Leo, look, somebody told me something that is really smart, and it kind of shocked me. When I was going through a breakup, and my ex came back, and this was actually very recent, and he was the person I was supposed to marry and all this stuff. She said to me, on my birthday, no less, hey, by the way, you're really smart. You're really capable of doing a lot in life. You have a really good job. You're a good mom. You're a good pet mom, kid mom, whatever. She said, but you're taking the easy road out, and I'm kind of wondering why it's not your style. And I was like, excuse me? And she said, well, you are going back to somebody that you know potentially is not a good fit for you, because it's easier to do that and fall back into old habits than to be alone and find something different, even if it takes years. It's easier to fall back into the what if, even though your heart may be telling you that's not the right person for you, or you'll never trust them again, or you'll never. So anyways, going on my own tangent, so one of the smartest things I've heard lately, because I thought, God, is she right? Is that the easiest thing to do, to get back with somebody because it's something you know, and because you do care about them, but you just don't know how deep? I mean, it is the easy way out sometimes, right? Because it's harder to be alone and deal with the what ifs than actually follow your heart. Anyways, I'll get off that tangent. All right, so the next card you have is any feelings or challenges internal that either help or hinder the current position. And you have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is a brilliant card, Taurus. It's fantastic. Regardless of you holding yourself back, this is what you want. You want real connection. You want a real meaning of love. You want real balance in a relationship. You want. You know what you want. You want unbelievable attraction. You want intimacy. You want physical connection. You want human touch. You want somebody smiling and texting you and calling you and kissing you and hugging you and all these wonderful things. And you can have that if you release yourself and let yourself go to a certain extent. Obviously, be cautious. Read the red flags. Online dating, or dating in general now, can be kind of scary, and you have to kiss a lot of frogs or frogettes, and you have to be very careful. But this tells me, like, you're in a good headspace. You know what you want. Don't torment yourself. If you're single, you may or may not have met somebody, but I really now am thinking somebody's piqued your interest and you're going, ooh, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm going to hold myself back. And he or she is saying, hey, but I kind of like you. And we have a lot of fun together. And you're going, I don't know. So it's, some of you have met somebody, some of you are going to, and some of you just have the faith and the hope that you're going to. And you know that something good is in store for you. And you believe it and you want it. But you're just not sure. And it's like you're being practical, dealing with emotions. And it's fine, but let this overflow a little bit. You deserve it. If you're looking for reconciliation, if you want this and you know that you feel that way about your ex, stop holding yourself back. The worst that's going to happen, right, is that you're going to end up in this position where you already are. The worst that's going to happen is they say, no, take a hike. You're already in the unknown. You're already in the stage of this could be it. So if you have these overwhelming feelings, or if you're missing this person, or if they're missing you and they've been knocking on your door, they've been texting you or whatever, just do it. Either do it or don't. Like, I think you're just going to have to make a decision and go with it. The next card you have is always your distant past over the past few years. And you have the King of Cups. So, I always read this card, and I'm going to just say it really quick because I said it the last few readings. I always do a past position. I'm not sure why other readers do, although most of them do. The reason that I do it is because whatever this is something that you're dealing with emotionally, a personality trait of yours or your ex's that you need to be aware of. It could be good, it could be bad. It's just something each month, a reminder of things from your past that either you don't want to bring in and let affect the current month, or that you do want to harness and allow to remember the good times. So the King of Cups is actually an interesting card. So it's not a negative card. So this month, obviously, I don't think you're having these harsh feelings about your ex or your past relationships. I mean, you possibly could be. And I always read this for anybody looking to reconcile or anybody who's single together, because this generally is not the person you're looking to reconcile with. This is like years ago. It could be, but most of the time it's not. This is from, you know, things that you've been through in a deep past. If you're feeling this way, then this is not, you know, this is not somebody that's recent. So the King of Cups is about, okay, immediately I'm getting this person who pretended to listen to you and then manipulated you based on what you said. So there was a lot of manipulation. There was a lot, and some of you were young. When I see this King of Cups in this position, it always makes me think some of you were young. You thought you had it all. You thought you knew what you were doing. Maybe you were dating somebody older and they told you to do this, this, and this, and you believed it and you knew what love was. And it turns out they were manipulating you. This card screams of somebody saying, I'll take care of you, or, you know, I don't know, I even get money. Some of you were ripped off. Some of you lost a lot. And you know that that's not a position that you want to be in ever again. And so that may be why you're feeling this way this month, because you have trust issues. And I mean, who doesn't to a certain extent? But some of us have higher trust issues, more insecurities about trusting people. And so you want this, you're holding yourself back. And some of it could be because one of your biggest relationships or one of your, and this also stems from like parents. Some of you watched your parents get ripped off. Some of you watched your parents get manipulated. Some of you watched your parents get manipulated over and over and over. It was like, and you kind of were like, I'll never go through that. And some of you, I think, went through it. And now you're almost like angry with yourself, even though a lot of you had no control. So just be careful. The biggest thing is, don't do this. Don't imprison yourself, but learn to watch the red flags. If you haven't dated in a long time, take baby steps. Listen, people always show you, right? They always say actions speak louder than words, but it goes beyond that. People always show you who they really are. So instead of saying, this is what I don't want, this is what I do want, griping at partners, griping at exes, telling people, you know, what you need, etc. Just be yourself. And if you sit back and listen, they tell you who you are. And then you get to make the decision whether that's good enough for you. The next card you have is going to be your most recent past. So over the past few weeks, past month or so, and you have the Emperor. Okay, so immediately this screams that you may have met a man or a woman, and they're very traditional. Maybe they are looking for marriage. Maybe they are looking for kids, especially if you're single. And I think this may have struck some of you as odd because maybe you haven't met those type of people. Maybe you thought there was nobody out there like that. And so maybe you're kind of emotionally feeling like, oh, there is a good person left, right? But I'm too worried about the shadiness, or I'm not sure I believe it because I've been, you know, through the circus before. But I really think that if you have met somebody, that your instincts are going to guide you. And a lot of people don't believe in signs and things like that, but I really think that not only your instinct, but, well, look, your instinct tells you if you feel a certain way about somebody and if you think they're shady, they might be shady and you can move on. But if you really like that person and you're drawn to them, then there's a good possibility that they're a decent human being. You also just need to look at the signs, you know, and I think maybe that's what Taurus is doing, is almost like learning how to date again and learning. And even if you have been dating the past few months, it's almost like just one unsuccessful attempt after another. And now you're finally like, okay, I really want to do this. So I need to put out there what I want in order to get back, you know, in order to get back from the universe what, you know, what I deserve, if that makes sense. And so, you know, just be cautious. Just make sure that you're making good decisions and make sure that, so that's weird. I just got this feeling too, with the Emperor. Sorry, I just had this really weird chill. Some of you, okay, this is going to sound so weird and you probably don't even want to hear it, but some of you are maybe falling for somebody like a professor, or I don't know, like a man or woman in uniform. This is very authoritative, but it's almost like a turn on. Okay, and that may only be for very few of you, but it could even be like you met somebody in like a mayor or a governor or in their office or something. That it's very interesting. It's you just, some of you maybe have dealt with like people that you feel like are kids or young, and this person is like structured and they know what they want and they're, you know, like authoritative, but not in a weird like 50 Shades of Grey. And I'm not saying that's weird. I mean, a lot of people enjoyed it and I've read the books and whatever, but like it's more of a kingship. Like you're almost in awe of them if you have met somebody like this. And it's not a bad awe because they're not a bad person. They're like not manipulative. And so it's almost like you held this person in the past at a high standard and they never lived up to that that capability of being just an amazing partner, an amazing person. And excuse me, I apologize right now, but there's a giant spider that just crawled up. And yeah, I was recording, sorry, and my headphone just popped out too. Anyways, I was trying to like skedaddle him away without killing him, even though spiders totally freak me out. But as I was saying, there's like this person that has struck your fancy in a really good way, and they might actually be really good for you, and they're grounded and they feel stable, and maybe that's what you thought you had before. That was something that you were going to get and you didn't. And so this person is exactly what you want. And maybe you were dealing with immaturity and you've decided, you know, you're not going to date anybody who doesn't have their shit together. You know, I want to be picked up on a date, so you need to have a car or mode of transportation. Again, I'm not saying if you don't have a car, it's not worth it. I'm just saying that whoever you've dated before has been less than, and now this person, this Emperor that maybe you've met or you're going to meet, has come into play, and you're finding yourself somewhat surprised, but you're holding yourself back even though you're like having, you know, the saucy dream. So sorry for the interruption on that. The next card you have is going to be in time. So over the next few months, not just in the month of August, and you have the Magician. And I love that card. So the Magician is endless possibilities. This is you hold the power, Taurus. You can do whatever you want. This is control. but not control in this type of way, okay? Because you can't control other people and the outcome and how they're going to feel. But you have the control here to allow people into your life and allow yourself to enjoy it and date and have fun with it and be versatile and make good connections and find your own ability in what you're capable of as a partner and just dating. The Magician is like all of a sudden you harnessing your own power and knowing you're capable of so many things, and whatever you want right now you can manifest. So if you're looking to meet the one, it's almost like you have that ability. Now you just have to find them, right? You can't necessarily manifest a person. You know, it's within you. It's like magic within you. I mean, I know that sounds corny because it's a Magician card, but it really is. All of the ability that you've ever harnessed, it's going to come through tenfold. You're going to be putting out in the universe what you want, and you're going to see it coming back. And you're also going to be able to control the bullshit that I'm talking about. You're going to be able to distinguish between somebody who's being disingenuous and somebody who's being honest and truthful. And if you're looking to reconcile, this is about connections. And this is about, like, control, but being versatile in that, if that makes sense. So it's almost like the opposite, like being able to control how you feel and how you react to the situation, but also being versatile and saying, you know what, I wasn't perfect. You're not perfect. We need to both say, look, you know, we're not perfect. Just forgive and forget if you love this person, and let them forgive and forget. And if you can truly do that, you can truly move on. And this Magician is saying, look, basically you have all the capabilities of anything you want, right? Any sign, you could be a Leo right now. You could be a Cancer right now. You can portray any feelings because you're holding the power of being a really good human being. And not that you're not. Taurus are actually very good human beings, but very good people in general. But just not overreacting if you hear something you don't like. Or not pointing the finger if you're remembering negativity in the past. Just allowing things to really develop naturally the way that they should. So there's a real possibility here of reconciliation if you just stop trying to do this, think about this, and then make it happen. The next card you have is the immediate future. So over the next few weeks and throughout the month of August, and you have the Two of Coins. So the Two of Coins is all about balance and priorities. So I think, Taurus, that you're really going to make dating a priority. And if you did meet this person that possibly you're in awe of, that my spider came out and totally shocked me out of, you know, my thoughts. So I apologize again. But the Two of Coins is saying that there's like possibilities here, whether it's with this person or not, the person that you may have met in the past few weeks. If you've met anybody, again, you could be going dark dove. I haven't met anybody, but it's coming. This is about, again, priorities and balance. And I think that not only are you making dating a priority, because you do want somebody in your life and you do miss that type of connection, but you're making yourself a priority, right? In order to make somebody else a priority. And the card kind of says it all, right? It's two intertwining, but not completely together like this yet, but with a possibility of getting there. And it's change. So if you're single, this tells me over the next few weeks you are going to meet somebody probably pretty incredible, somebody that's going to change the way you think about dating, and then that change will transform into not being single anymore. And I firmly believe that, and I think that you're going to be able to, oh my gosh, there's a spider right there, what is going on? Sorry about that, but I truly think that you're going to have the ability to make things happen the way you want because of this Magician. So you're going to find this person. Maybe you'll date a few people, but I get the distinct feeling it's going to be one person that's going to catch your attention, or you're going to catch theirs, and it's just going to kind of flame from there. And then here is where the magic happens, right? Because you can do anything that you want. and you can have anything you want if you truly believe it. If you're looking to reconcile, this is about change. So it's 50-50 toss up here. Yes, I believe that this is saying that there's a big possibility for reconciliation. And honestly, if some of you are feeling this about your ex, then I think there's a possibility they're feeling that way too. The 2, though, tells me it's a change 50-50, right? Either you're going to have to go out and date because you know it's over, or you're tired of the guessing game and you have no idea what's going on, so the only thing you can do right is be happy and meet other people. Or the change is going to be that you're no longer separated and you're going to get back together. I think the 2 is saying it's pretty much as simple as that. The next card you have is going to be any future external factors. So anything happening, and you have the moon, anything happening around you externally that could be influencing throughout the month of August. It doesn't have to just be in the beginning or the end. It could be throughout the month. And you have the moon. So the moon means that over the next month, you're going to be feeling a little bit all over the place. You're going to be dreamy, but you're also going to be fearful. The moon is the perfect example of that, right? Every time I draw the moon, it's like you're looking into the shadows because you can't quite see everything. Because not everything's always illuminated as a full moon, right? Sometimes you have a half moon or, you know, a sliver. And so sometimes you can see everything clearly and then other times you can't. So if you do meet somebody, or if you have already met somebody, I think you may have some moments where you're not entirely sure, which is normal, right? There's fear there. This manipulation or trust issues or insecurity issues or whatever that you've dealt with, rightfully so, in the past that have caused you to have those insecurities or fears will come throughout the month. You're just going to have to learn to decide what's really worth worrying about and what you just need to wait out and see. A lot of times the moon suggests that you're going to see something that's not there. So don't overanalyze things. If they don't act the way that you expect them to act, you know, you just have to go with the flow. And I really think that if you're single, that's something you're going to teach yourself, is to kind of go with the flow. And even if there's fear there, and even if you think maybe I'm not seeing something, or this is too good to be true and I can't imagine that this person's this great, don't do that to yourself. Ride it out. Have patience. The moon can be tricky, very beautiful, but can also be foolish, but fooling none other than ourselves, right? If you're looking to reconcile, I think that you're almost going to be feeling the same way this month. You're going to be feeling like it's up or down. Maybe your ex will contact you and then all of a sudden maybe you won't hear from him for a day or two. And maybe he or she is kind of testing the water. And you're like, well, I love you and you love me and you said you love me, but why aren't you coming back full force? And we should be moving in together and we're supposed to be getting married. Take it easy, Taurus. It might be exciting, but I think it's going to have you kind of up and down this month. You're going to be, yes, they're talking to you, or yes, you go, you know, you start communication and they immediately want to talk to you. But now you're like, well, why aren't you jumping all over this and moving in together? Don't push it. Have patience. If it's supposed to be the next move for you guys, let it come organically. The next card you have is any future internal factors. So this is how you might be feeling throughout the month internally. And you have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant is a teacher. This is somebody who can be religious, somebody who conforms. So I think inside, this, you know, again, this is internal. And so I think you're going to be learning. And again, with the moon here, I definitely think you're going to be learning. I think you're going to be remembering this past and almost taking it as teaching moments. So if you're single, you're going to bring this wisdom into yourself and you're going to make sure that you're not pushing the past into the future, or you're setting different expectations. It also could be that you go to counseling. Maybe some of you had a seriously bad relationship and you need to kind of get over it. And the best way to do that is to go to counseling, is to, you know, get some help. And it also could mean that you're going to, if you're religious, you're going to like a priest. If you're not religious, or that's not anything you would do, you would go to a parent or somebody wiser, somebody, you know, maybe your sibling or your best friend has been through the dating game and they were successful, and you're going to be asking them a lot about this. If you're looking to reconcile, this is healthy as well, because maybe you're going to do couples counseling, or again, maybe you're seeking somebody's information. The Hierophant is very, you know, has a lot of wisdom. It also could be that before you weren't sure about kids or weren't sure about marriage, and now you're almost feeling like you're ready to conform. And I know that sounds terrible, but what I mean is maybe before the relationship didn't work because one of you wanted kids and the other didn't. One of you wanted marriage and the other didn't. And this tells me that maybe one of you is giving that second thought and saying, I really do love that person. So maybe conforming to what I didn't want to or what I thought was conforming is not so bad if I get to be with the person that I love. The last 2 cards you have are your hopes and fears for the month. And you have the Fool, which is an awesome card, and your outcome, which you have the 9 of Coins, which is also a very good card. Now, it's interesting. You have a lot of major arcana in this deck. You have the Hierophant, the Moon, the Fool, the Magician, the Emperor, and ironically, you have the first 2 steps in the major arcana, which are beginnings and endless opportunity. The Fool is out there with folly, and that's kind of how you want to be. You want to have this innocence and this love and this potential and this fearlessness. And Taurus, I can feel it. You're going to. You've just got to get away from yourself. You've got to stop being your own worst enemy. So allow this Fool to strengthen. This is your hope. Your hope is that you're going to find somebody and you're going to allow yourself to feel secure and feel happy and not second guess and not judge and not try and control the situation and not fear the worst. The Fool is fearless. And if you're single, that's how you're going to need to be to get what you want and make this magic happen. If you're looking to reconcile, I really think this and this is kind of shouting that, like, in this, you want it, you got to go for it. You got to be fearless as well. The potential's there. Just play innocence. I'm sorry, or I forgive you, whichever end, whatever way that flows, right? Get over the nitty-gritty and make it happen. The Fool is rebirth. This is the beginning. So whether you're single or whether you're looking to reconcile, this is your time. You can have that beginning. You can have this magic. You can make it what you want it. You gotta let go of yourself and you gotta get out of your own head. The last card you have is your outcome, which is the 9 of Coins. And the 9 of Coins is about abundance, accomplishment, success. If you're single, by the end of August, you're going to feel like you have successfully conquered dating to a certain extent. I really firmly believe you're going to meet somebody or you're going to know the potential is there with somebody. Again, it could be a few people, but I really think it's going to be one person in particular. It could be this wise emperor. It could be the man in uniform, the woman in uniform. It could be a professor. It could just be somebody wiser than you, more mature than the crap you've dated before. The 9 also talks about success. It could be career-wise, it could be financially, but it's just abundance, Taurus. And it's something I think that you've longed for a long time, and you're going to have an abundance of this, which is one of my favorite cards, especially in Love Spread. And this 9 is saying the abundance is coming. Be patient. Don't let this fool you. Don't get fears in your head. Go for it. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. I think really good things are coming for you, Taurus. If you're looking to reconcile, I really think that this is saying that the possibilities are there, but you've got to get rid of that junk. I know I said that, but there's something that is just like, and I really think it's stupid. I hate to say that, and you could be like, hey, Dark Dove, I was cheated on or something, and I'm sorry, okay, because this could be totally different for thousands. This and this and this is this fear and not being fearless and going after what you want because you're holding yourself back. And I really feel like it might be something really dumb that is keeping you guys separated for some of you. For some of you, it could be really serious. But I do see some of you going, yeah, it is kind of foolish. We're both being stubborn. We're being asses. So one of us is going to have to make the move. So Taurus, grab the bull by the horns, right? Okay. So here, I'm going to clarify your distant future and your outcome really quick with poker cards. I used to read with just regular cards a long time ago. And I'm just going to shuffle these and see if anything pops out, or I'll just take the top 2. But again, I'm just clarifying the distant future and the outcome for August. So let's see if anything pops out. And you have one pop out. So I'm just going to take the top 2. Actually, I'm going to take those 2. All right, so let's see here. You have the King of Spades. And you have the Jack of Clubs. Okay, so the King of Spades, just a forefront, spades are thinking, communication, so it's definitely swords card. So it's interesting because you have the Magician here, and the King of Spades is about introspective, ethical, being a good communicator, and getting what you want. So I think that fits really well with the Magician, because this is you making things happen, getting what you want, acting very kingly. And man, you know, I have to say the King goes really well with the Emperor here. So I really feel like the Magician is telling the truth. You're going to be a little bit introspective, but it's more about finding out what you want and then making it happen. And the King agrees with the Magician and saying, I'm going to communicate better than I ever have when I meet the right person, so that I never end up in a negative situation. I mean, obviously things don't always work out 100%. There are ups and downs, but you're going to be very clear on what you want, and in turn you're going to get that communication back. And then you have the Jack of Clubs, and the Jack is very interesting because this is a risk taker. So this is somebody who is saying, you know, in order to get what I want, I have to take risk. I have to plan. I have to just go out and say, this is who I am. This is what I want. This is kind of hot-headed almost, not in a bad way. And so I think this actually goes really well with the Magician and also the Emperor, and also the Fool. But it goes well with the 9, because if you go after what you want and you take that risk and you stop holding yourself back, then you'll get that abundance of the 9 of Coins, if that makes sense. You'll get that. So follow the Jack of Clubs and know that if you take the risk and you make a concerted effort, again, putting out in the universe what you want, you'll get it back. All right, Taurus. I can't wait to see what happens, because I love this. Anyways, hope you have a fantastic August. I'll talk to you soon.